What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here with Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you guys with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be covering 10 Donald Trump items that sold on eBay for ridiculous prices. So a little bit about me. Name's Steve Raiken, Raiken Profit. Had this YouTube channel for about 4 years. If it's your first time tuning in, I've done about 1,000 videos. I've been selling on eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, whole bunch of different platforms for about 4 years, over 4 years now. And I can tell you right now that Donald Trump items, since he's become the president, have gone through the roof. So I want to share with you guys these 10 items that have sold for some really, really good money on eBay. I want to shout out really quick all the people in the live feed. We got Sonia, what's going on? James, Sunny, Hoovy the Real, what's going on? Bob Smith, good to see you guys. Appreciate you guys watching. So the goal of this video is to share with you guys these items, Donald Trump items that have sold for some really good money, to put you in a better position to find these items, to recognize their value, and to pick them up and sell them on eBay, right? So the moral of the story, really what I want to get across before I share all these items with you, is if you see something that's Donald Trump, there's a good chance right now that it's selling for really good money. Now, I think that over time, the value of these things are going to slowly start to go down, because right now, Donald Trump, he just became the president. It's a hot topic. It's trending. You know, there's all these new things that he's doing as the president, and it's just such a hot topic. But in 6 months, a year from now, I believe the values are going to start to slowly go down. So I just want to grant that. I want to put that out there and make my little prediction. But with that being said, let's dive into this show. So first item that sold on eBay is a Donald Trump, yes, a Donald Trump latex mask. And I can tell you right now that people are buying these items, because recently I was in Las Vegas for the ASD wholesale trade show. And at nighttime, we were walking the strip, you know, going into the casinos, and all around Las Vegas, there's people who come out and they do these little acts and these gigs and they perform. And there was this one little area that there were like 3 Donald Trumps, like fake Donald Trumps with these masks, like doing all these weird, funky things, and people were actually giving them money. So, people are buying these things. Now, there's a bunch of various ones I've noticed when I was studying the sold listings. There's some that are really cheap and they don't really look like him. They sell for like 20 bucks, 30 bucks. But the ones that really, really look like him, like this one, like it looks exactly like him, 10 bids, $350. So I don't know if you're ever going to be able to find, you know, a mask out there in the wild, whether you're thrifting, in garage sales, flea markets, or whatever. But if you do find one of these, and it looks real, there's a good chance there is some money to be made. The second Donald Trump item that sold on eBay, and if you're not familiar with this, this style of videos that I make, essentially what I'm doing is I'm going into the sold listings on eBay and finding items that have sold from other sellers on eBay, just to share it with you guys and to study together. I love researching. So here we have a collector's bottle of Trump vodka by President Donald Trump, and it's in parentheses. It says empty, because from my understanding, you can't sell alcohol on eBay, right? So I don't even know if you're allowed to sell empty bottles. I haven't really dug into that, but I noticed that there were about 3 or 4 of these things that have sold in the last month or two on eBay, collector's bottles, the vodka by Trump, which have sold. And this one sold 16 bids on eBay for $56. So that's pretty crazy right there. Third item that sold, and I mentioned this the other day when I shared with you guys the top 21 brands to buy and sell when it comes to ties. And one of those brands right now, obviously it's trending, is Donald Trump ties. And the reason why I named this title of the video, Ridiculous Prices that sold of Donald Trump items, is because this is kind of ridiculous, because before Donald Trump was president, before he was campaigning and all that, these ties weren't doing that well. His polo shirts weren't doing that well. His button front shirts weren't doing that well. They were all over the place. And the prices that came about on eBay weren't that good. But now it seems like anything Donald Trump within the clothing apparel category sells extremely well. And here's an example of a tie, navy blue, stripes, 28 bucks. $28, and there were actually 5 bids. So if you do come across a Donald Trump tie, pick it up, especially if it's vibrant, if it's got a great design, if the material's really nice, if it's in good shape, pick it up because these things are selling for good money. And again, this whole Donald Trump keyword is trending like crazy right now. Okay, let's go on to the next item. The fourth item is a Donald Trump Make America Great Again hat that sold for $188.50. Now, if it wasn't signed by Donald Trump, I don't know how much this hat would have gone for, maybe 20 bucks, 30 bucks, I'm just guessing. But I noticed when I was studying the sold listings, anything that's signed by Donald Trump, as Christopher Lynn would say in the comments, Donald Trump is on fire. Anything Donald Trump right now is on fire in terms of the sold listings. $188.50. So another item that I noticed that I didn't share with you guys on this, but I'm going to throw it out there, is a lot of people, when they were meeting Donald Trump, they were giving him like a dollar bill or a $5 bill and having him sign it. And those dollar bills with his signature were going for about $100. So if you have anything Donald Trump autographed, that's that's real, now might be a good time to sell it. Next up, now this is a game called Trump the Game by Donald Trump. And this game, a couple of years back, was selling for like $20 or $30 brand new, I believe. It wasn't going for much at all. And I remember one time I went into, this is when I was new at reselling, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I went into my parents' basement and I actually found this game from when I had like first started thrifting, and I scanned it and it wasn't going for much on Amazon or eBay, maybe 20 or 30 bucks. Don't quote me on that, but it wasn't going for much. And now that Donald Trump's the president, and now that this, that his name is just trending all over the world, $122.50. And that's not a typo. Look on Amazon, they're probably going for more. This Donald Trump the Game sells extremely well. Now this is brand new, right? Brand new in the shrink wrap from 1989. So this board game's about 27 years old, made by Milton Bradley. But if you find this game, which it's actually possible to find this in a thrift store, I found it quite a few times before he was president. You could find this. There's still a bunch of them out there brand new, but if you find it, pop on that thing, send it into FBA or put it on eBay. These things are selling for well over $100. Axel in the comments is saying, I sold a tie for $18. I think I could have gotten more. So Axel, it really depends on the color and the pattern. I've noticed when I was studying the Donald Trump ties that sold, color and pattern was a really big thing right there. Jimmy Gomez has randomly found a Donald Trump tie in my closet that was left by my previous roommate, listed it, and well, he just had listed it immediately, but I assumed it probably sold immediately as well. Next Donald Trump item that sold on eBay, and if there's any little boys and girls, cover up your eyes right now. We've got 2 Playboys from March of 1990 with Donald Trump and a lovely lady, it appears. $46.41. And when I was studying the sold listings, when I typed in the keyword Donald Trump, a lot of people were selling this Donald Trump Playboy issue. People were lotting it up 10, 15 at a time. They sell, and they seem to be selling extremely well. So here we go. 1990 Donald Trump Playboy, lot of 2, $46.41. So if you've got any of those laying around your house, quit looking at them and throw them on eBay and make some money. Here's a pretty crazy example of a ridiculous price of an item that's sold of Donald Trump, because I can tell you right now, a couple of years ago, you'd be lucky to get $9 or $10 out the door with a Donald Trump signature collection button front. Here it looks like it's French cuff, spread collar, button front, long sleeve, obviously a very nice dress shirt. Love the contrast of the blue and white. $26.77. Now, you might not think that's a lot of money, but it wasn't too long ago that these shirts would not sell. I used to see them all the time. It was almost like the brand was almost failed in a sense. People didn't want it. like there was stuff that sold really well in the Donald Trump line, but most of it didn't sell very well. I actually would pass it up quite often. But now, go into the sold listings, look up the Donald Trump signature collection line, sold listings on eBay, and these things sell. So Axel Rose on the comments is saying, I have one listed, French cuffs. So here's another example of a Donald Trump item that is selling. $26.77. Pick this up for a couple bucks. Ship it for a couple bucks. Make yourself $15 profit. Next item that sold is a pretty funny looking Donald Trump bobblehead from the 2016 Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton election. I did some more research and dove a little deeper into this, and I noticed that not all bobbleheads are selling well. But if you find one that's made very well, that's all I can say. There's some like really cheap plastic ones that they're going for like $5 or $6. But if you find one really nicely made, great craftsmanship, all wood, strong, sturdy, it looks like those are doing the best. I'm not any close to being an expert when it comes to bobbleheads, but I noticed that some of the bobbleheads were selling really well, and then the plastic cheaper, the Chinese ones weren't doing as well. But this sold for actually there was a best offer on it. I'm not sure what it sold for. It says 70, but when I was looking it up, there was the line going across it. So maybe 30, $40, who knows, but that was pretty cool. Here's another item of Donald Trump that's starting to pick up and sell a lot better. Donald Trump books. Believe it or not, Donald Trump created and co-authored a lot of books. There's quite a few books out there that he's got his name on, and it seems like a lot of his books are doing very, very well. If you go into the sold listings, Donald Trump books, you'll see that there's quite a few books that he has created. And let's go in here. So you can see, $12.99, $14.89, $25, $23, $16.99. So there's a whole bunch of books that he's been a part of. So just be on the lookout for these, right? Obviously with Amazon and their low prices, especially with newer books, some of these things aren't doing extremely well, but be on the lookout for Donald Trump books. And number 10, the 10th Donald Trump item that sold on eBay for pretty ridiculous prices is this Donald Trump International Golf Club polo shirt made by Greg Norman. And if you take a look on the front, on the left upper chest, there's a Donald Trump International embroidery right there. So really anything that has the Donald Trump name or anything that's associated with Donald Trump, doesn't matter if it's a memorabilia piece or if it's a hat or some type of apparel or jewelry or alcoholic bottle or the vodka bottle that I showed you previously. Anything that's associated with Donald Trump right now is hot. It's on fire. It's trending. And it's going for some really good money. Again, I made a prediction at the beginning of the show that it's probably going to fade away a little bit. There's so many people talking about Donald Trump. There's so many people who love him and absolutely hate his guts. Regardless, publicity is publicity, and his name's getting out there even more. And there's so much emotion that people want to buy his stuff. Believe it or not, it's crazy. So this sold for $40 right here, and I say that's a ridiculous price because a couple years back you would have been lucky to probably get 12, 15 bucks. Maybe this one's special. I'm not 100% sure why this holds so much value, but a polo shirt, right? $40. A Greg Norman shirt without this embroidery is probably going for like $11, right? So Donald Trump's name, added a lot more value to this. So there you go, guys. Those are the 10 Donald Trump items that sold on eBay for ridiculous prices. The reason why I'm sharing this video with you is because I was in the sold listings, like I always am, studying and trying to stay ahead of the curve and just seeing what's going on. And I was looking at Donald Trump items and I'm like, wow, these things have gone up in value a bunch, right? I knew the ties were doing well. I knew the apparel was doing well, but I couldn't believe all the various items that were associated with Donald Trump, how much value they held, from vodka bottles to dollar bills and hats being autographed to Playboy magazines. It's pretty crazy. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I'm going to go into the comments right now and answer any questions that you guys have. We have 72 people watching live right now, so give it a thumbs up. You don't have to be a Trump supporter, to like this video. My purpose of this video wasn't to say I like Trump or I don't like him. My purpose is to educate you guys on what's selling, to help you to get yourself in a really good position to make some money, because that's what this channel is all about: finding ways to hustle, finding ways to make money, finding ways to be able to work for yourself and not have to work a typical 9-to-5 job. And that's really my passion. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm here to help you guys with. So give me a thumbs up, guys. I would definitely appreciate that. Axel Rose is saying, nice video, Steve. Thanks for the info. Axel, thanks for the comments. I definitely appreciate that. Christopher Lynn, 10K on the Bay. Let's try and get his hair 7 figures to flip. Faux show. Yeah, if you got his hair somehow, I'm sure somebody would pay thousands. I could guarantee it. In the sun, does anyone here follow politics? We're not going to go down that road right now, but I'm sure there's quite a few people who have an opinion. Matt, I'm going to just call you Matt M because I don't want to destroy your last name. Matt says, Raiken is also the man. Respect. Appreciate that. And you're the man too, Matt. H&H Entertainment, any tips on increasing eBay impressions, click-through, and conversion rates? So there's a lot of various things that you can do. I'll give you some examples. Obviously, to get more impressions, one of the things that you can do is to rank organically more, right, to get in front of your customers. And one thing you can do is by choosing better keywords. So what you can do is if you find an item that you're going to sell, maybe it's like a Donald Trump polo shirt, type those keywords into eBay and hit sold listings and start to study all the other items that have sold, comparable sales, and start to see what keywords they're putting in. Maybe they put in Trump International, or maybe they put in a certain keyword that you weren't aware of because you're not like an expert in that niche. So that's what I do, is I study that and try to find some good keywords that way. Also, to get more impressions and more click-throughs, obviously having really good pictures, making sure your first picture really stands out, it's attractive, that it portrays your item in an accurate manner. Because if it's more attractive, you're going to get more people clicking through. In terms of conversion rates, there's a lot of different things you can do. Having a really strong description, right, including measurements if you're selling clothing, including all of the item specifics, right, in the listing, free shipping, fast shipping, having good feedback, all those things can definitely boost your conversions. So hopefully that helped you right there. Just going through the comments to see what else is going on. How about on mass? We have over 10K listings. So you have a lot of listings. One thing I would probably do is make sure that you're staying on top of the pricing, right? Because sometimes prices change, sometimes markets get more competitive. So making sure that you stay on top of the pricing. Christopher Lynn was talking about some strategies in one of our latest shows about bulk editing. If you have a lot of listings, right? So you can put like certain keywords in your title or in your listing to be able to bulk edit everything really quickly. Also, one thing I would say is if you have that many listings, running sales, every time I run sales on eBay, I get a pretty good influx of sales coming through. So I enjoy running sales. If you have a really, really big store as well, I would make sure to put some emphasis on making sure your store is easily able to navigate, right? So creating, categories and making it easy for people to move in and out of your store from various categories as well. Matt says Trump Pez dispensers. So Pez dispensers may be selling well. Simple to Faith 7 says, I have not sold much yet on eBay. I have terrible lighting. I need a light kit that is best to get good pictures, but not real expensive, since I have not made much yet. Any advice on type, brand, and kind? So if you go over to RaikenProfit.com/tools, I do have a lighting kit that I suggest. I'm not sure what it costs. You're gonna have to go over there and check. But to be 100% honest with you, go into Amazon and type in, photography lighting kit, and just look for the one that has the most reviews, the best feedback, good seller rating, and just go with that. You can also go on YouTube and type in, photography lighting kit reviews or a keyword like that to get an idea of what people are enjoying and what people like. But eBay, Amazon, it's a search engine. So go in there, look for items that have good feedback, find one, and I'm sure if it has good feedback, it'll be fine, right? So somebody's asking about how many books Mama Profits, which is my mother, how many she has listed at any given time. I think currently right now she has 200 or 300 books listed. She did have quite a few more as of late. Excuse me. She had quite a bit more, about 6, 8, 9 months ago. But when they changed the fee structure and they changed the long-term storage fee structure, herself and myself included, we had gotten rid of a lot of the long tail stuff. And I know Mama Profits specifically, she's focusing on more books that are fast turning. So a lot of times when she ships something in, it sells immediately because she's focusing on those lower ranks. It's not necessarily best for making the most money, but for her business model, it seems to work best for her. And you know what? She might even have under 100 books now. I'm not quite sure, but I know she's getting very, very picky with the ranks, the conditions, and obviously the margins because, with the long-term storage fee hitting every 6 months now on all SKUs and the fee hikes, I mean, it's not as easy as it was to make profit, especially on the lower end ones. So she's been switching it up a bit. Axel said, I just upgraded my eBay store. Now I'm able to have more items on sale. Sunny says, I have been getting back into eBay after several years off. Are there mistakes you see from people who are old school eBayers? You know, we all make mistakes, right? I'm not sure, like, you know, if there's mistakes that are just for like the old school, eBayers, but obviously, like, changing up your price, working on your photos, putting in good keywords. I know one mistake that I think a lot of the old school eBayers are making. I know eBay is starting to favor kind of like the shorter listings just to be more like mobile optimized. So, maybe a good answer to that is maybe a lot of the old schoolers don't realize how popular buying, through the mobile devices, and eBay is they limited the amount of characters that they show on the mobile device as of late. I think it was like 800 characters. So I know for me, like 3 years ago, I used to have these huge, long descriptions with everything in it. And now I've really shrunk mine down and compacted it and made it a lot smaller because when people are buying on the mobile device, they're not even seeing all of that. So I would say one thing is keeping the character limit down on your eBay listings throughout your description. And I know that eBay also is starting to go away with like the HTML and all the animations and fancy store designs within your eBay listing, just because I think they're trying to optimize for mobile. So that's probably a really good tip right there. Benny's asking about Udemy eBay courses. Do you have a class Raiken on Udemy? I don't, but if you type in Raiken Profit eBay, I have a lot of various videos. That you can kind of bounce around from in terms of like what to sell, researching items, how to measure items, shipping. You just have to type in my name. I know there's a lot of videos, but I've considered it, maybe making some Udemy courses, but I don't know. That's actually maybe a good idea. eBay's popular. Right now eBay's getting let me see. As of now on ebay.com, because a lot of people think like, oh, eBay's going down, Amazon's taking it out. As of now, eBay's getting 1 billion estimated views per month. 1 billion hits on their website per month. So there's a lot of people who are purchasing on eBay. It's huge. In comparison, Amazon's getting 2.1 billion hits per month on their website. And I'm actually getting those statistics from a Chrome extension called Similar Web, which is a really good Chrome extension to download to your computer. And you could look up how many hits per month, a website is getting. But eBay's popular, right? eBay's definitely it's got a lot of market pull. So I mean, people are going there, definitely going there. I think more people are selling on the platform right now as well, just because things are getting a little more challenging on Amazon with all the restrictions and the suspensions and all the rules, and they're gating things off, and they're requiring people to pay to get gated to sell certain things. So I know a lot of sellers I've seen from the inside out, they're moving over to eBay to sell. So that might have an effect on the market. So Hall's Hangout is saying you will always make more with BIN, and BIN stands for buy it now. You will always make more with buy it now. I personally would rather shop buy it now because I do not want to wait for my item. And I agree. I think that if you're willing to wait, you're going to definitely get more selling your items buy it now versus an auction. But for some people, it doesn't make sense to wait. They want their profits now, and they might even be willing to take 30 or 40% less profit because they have so much volume coming in. Remember, guys, we all have different business models. Some people, their biggest problem in their business is finding inventory, which is most people's problems, myself included. But there's other sellers out there who have contracts and relationships built with companies, and the problem that they're dealing with the least is getting inventory. So some people, they've got employees, they've got massive amounts of inventory coming in, and they want to get rid of it. So for that person, I think auction works best. But I think for most people, either going buy it now or a mixture of buy it now and an auctions probably is a good alternative. How do you deal with lowball offers? Had three yesterday and couldn't close any of them. I mean, if it's super low and it's not even in the ballpark, you could counter offer them, right? Maybe a reasonable offer, or you can just reject it. But when you reject it, you're taking yourself out of the game. So I would just counter offer them. One quick tip for counter offering is when you send your counter offer, there's a little space there to write a note. Typically, I'll say something like, "Thank you so much for your offer. I can't accept your price, but I can accept this price. I just want to let you know I could ship quickly and I'll box up your items safely. And I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much." You could even have like a little script where you copy and paste it and switch out the numbers. But I've noticed that if you put a little note, just like being human and just like thanking them for the offer and, hey, this is the best I could do, but I want to let you know if you purchase it, if you accept this, I'm going to ship it quick. I'm going to package it up nicely, and I'm here for you. I'm happy to help you. I've noticed by putting that little note in there, it typically helps to boost conversions with the counter offers. What do you do when buyers don't leave feedback on eBay? I usually just ignore it. I have a couple accounts right now, and over time, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you're first getting started, like one of my accounts that I had started recently, it doesn't have many feedback. It has like 40 or 50. I'm focused on building that up, but then I have another account that has well over 2,000 feedback. And with that account, I'm not worried about the feedback. I guess you would only worry about it if you're new. But really, once you have over 5 to 10 to 15 feedback, I think you're in the game. It's the people who have like 0 or 1 or 2 feedback that I feel like people get a little nervous with. So you could reach out and ask them, but I typically just let it come in organically. One thing that I've done though is when you sell an item, I have this little thank you sticker. And if you go on to Amazon or eBay and type in eBay thank you sticker, it's this little sticker that's probably like, I don't know, 3 inches by 2 inches. And it says, thank you for your purchase. If you enjoyed this purchase, please leave a 5-star rating, you know, appreciate your business, something like that. And if you sell a piece of clothing, throw it in a poly bag, tape that up and then throw the thank you sticker on the outside. Axel Rosa is saying I use eBay stickers as well, and that will help boost conversions in addition. Steve, I've got about 60 items listed. Need to take time away from home. Uh, can holding back my listings hurt me if they're not for sale while in order to take the time off? I'm not sure if I understand that question, but if you're asking, is it best to list everything at once, or is it best to like list things, maybe a couple times a week and stay consistent? I'm not sure if that's your question. I found that listing consistently is better than just listing like 50 one day and then waiting like a week or two and then listing 50 and waiting a week or two. I feel like when you're listing consistently, 5 a day or 10 a day, 5 days a week versus the 50 one day a week, the slow, 5 to 10 a day, like the consistent listing seem to do better for me. So that's just kind of like my guesstimate right there. That works best. But what I would do is I would try both, right? I've tried both, and that's what worked best for me. Elizabeth said, I've had people leave positive feedback months later. I don't give up hope. So, yeah, you never know. Sometimes people go through, like on my eBay account when I'm buying and stuff. So, maybe some people go through and they just bulk leave feedback. What's up, Benny? Raiken, opinion on the bad eBay PayPal videos on YouTube. The ones where people say eBay ruined my life or stay away from PayPal seems just negative. There's going to be people who hate anything, any software, any platform, any person, right? There's people who follow me on YouTube and they love me, but they freaking hate my guts. There's people who love eBay and hate it and they're all Amazon. It is what it is. There's going to be, bad experiences that people deal with. What is going on here? Sorry about that. There's going to be bad experiences that people deal with. One second. I just need to update my computer really quick. Okay, cool. The thing with PayPal is PayPal can screw you over really easily, especially if you have a lot of funds in your account. So one tip that I would give you is if you've got money sitting in your PayPal account, get it out as soon as you can. Obviously, you want to leave a little bit in there just in case there's returns and stuff, because there could be some negative things that happen if, return or refund hits you and there's no money in your PayPal. So I usually keep a couple $100 in there. But I've known people who use their PayPal as like a savings account, and that's a big, big no-no. To kind of go to the extreme, I have a friend who he sells on, he's got a Shopify store, and he uses PayPal is one of his payment processors. He has $90,000 that is stuck in his PayPal account right now because PayPal froze it. I guess he had too many refunds coming through, and this guy, he was doing hundreds of thousands of orders per week, but he had too many refunds come through on PayPal and they froze it. Now I know that's extreme, um, but PayPal's been known to freeze your account, so don't keep your money in there. Once it starts to pile up over a couple $100, I usually, pull it into my withdraw it into my checking account. So, Sins Closet says I put a note in my packages saying I'm a stay-at-home mom, uh, and I run my business from home. Any positive feedback is important to me. It seems to work very well for me. Yeah, I mean, if you've got the time to put a handwritten note in each package, I think it shows, that you're human, that you're just a real person. And that's the cool thing about eBay. That's one thing I enjoy about selling on eBay is it's very, touchy. It's human interaction, where with Amazon, it feels very automated and just very business-like. So just going through the comments real quick. Let's see. Upscale sales, Steve, have you been messing with email lists or social marketing? I've been messing with that stuff for years, but not really in terms of like eBay or Amazon, mostly for affiliate marketing and launching products and whatnot. H&H Entertainment says you can automate an email on eBay to send a feedback reminder after a specific amount of time from completion of the sale. That is true. Forgot to mention that. Thanks for putting that in the comments. So Kenneth is talking about PayPal. I sold a large pro camera lot, then buyer made a contestament with PayPal. I know PayPal normally sides with the buyer, but I won as I had a as is no returns on my ad, $390. Wow, Kenneth, congratulations. I'm surprised they sided with you. I thought that there was like a refund policy, like no matter what, if they want to refund it, they get it back. So I'm definitely surprised by that, but happy for you for sure. Gabriel is asking, do you mess with sales funnels like ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson's products? I do, but not for my eBay or Amazon business. I don't use Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels. We actually use ConvertKit, and we use Samcart as our payment processor. So we have, quite a few softwares that integrate together and make up the sales funnel as well. Sonny says, this is the best thing to listen to while listing. Well, thank you, Sonny. Appreciate that. Let me know, guys. I want to ask you guys a question. I want to put it into the comments section. If you guys are able to type, I know a lot of people probably have this in the background. If you're selling on eBay, what is your goal in terms of how many items you want to list per day and how many per week, right? Maybe per week. How many items do you aim to list per week? Right. When I had first got it started with eBay, and this was 4 years ago, when I was still working at a job and I was trying to quit, I was able to quit once I got up to, I don't even remember the exact number, but when I had gotten up to listing 10 new items a day, about 50 per week, I was able to get myself up to like a full-time income. Now, I didn't have a ton of bills back then. I didn't even have my own place. I was living out with my parents, 4 years ago, but I was making, two to 2,500 bucks a month, listing 50 items per week. So that was kind of like the sweet spot for me to like finally start making enough money to, be able to save some money and invest back into, more items and whatnot. So organically, Hannah saying 210 a week. So there's a lot of people saying 50. We got Donna Wester saying 50 per week. Axel Rosa saying at least 50 per week. Sin's Closet trying for 50 a week. We have Matt saying 10 a day. Organic Hannah, 210 a week. Holy mackerel. Are you dead serious with that? 210 per week. So that's like 40, 80, 126. That's like 40 a day, like 5 days a week, which is quite a bit. I'd be curious if you have any help. I'm assuming the people who are doing 50 a week, you're probably solo. You're probably, you probably just work for yourself, no employees. But once you get up to about 100, 200, I would say you're probably going to have an employee or you don't have a life. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But once you get up to that many listings, I mean, it's such a big time suck to list. Obviously, depending on what you're listing, maybe if you're listing little knickknacks, it's going to be easier than listing clothes. But I'd be curious if you guys have any people working for you as well. Yeah, Joshua Davidson saying I'd be happy with 20. I think the key is to take a look at your goals. Take a look at how much money you want to make. And there's a difference between how much you make and how much you take home. How much you make is gross, and then you have your net profit minus all your fees, expenses, cost of goods sold. But you have to take a look at your goals, right? It doesn't matter what I list. It doesn't matter what Joshua lists. It doesn't matter what Organic Hannah lists. It matters upon your goals. How much money do you want to make, right? How much do you want to net and bring home? You've got to take a look at that goal, and then you could reverse engineer the whole thing and say, okay, well, right now I'm selling this many products. I'm listing this many products a day. I have this much in my store, and I'm making this much. If you want to double, triple, or quadruple, you're going to have to either list more items, or you're going to have to focus on getting items that have a higher margin, or you might even have to consider hiring somebody. But, it doesn't matter what the next guy or the next gal is doing. You just got to look at your goals and analyze it and say, okay, I'm comfortable where I am, or, I want to take it to the next level. So, yeah. Yep. What's going on, Brian Huntsman? Just 25 a week, sport coats and suit jackets. So, 25 a week of sport coats and suit jackets is pretty darn good, because I'm probably guessing, Brian. Let me guess, Brian. I'm going to say that if you're selling mostly sport coats and suit jackets on eBay, I'm going to say your average order is probably around $35. Let me know. What's your average price per sale? What's your average order value? I'm going to say around 35 bucks if you're selling sport coats and suit jackets, but it might be more, you know? So Matt says 100 to 150 a week by myself. How many hours a week do you think that's taking you, Matt, to list 100 to 150 items per week? Let's take into consideration you sourcing it, cleaning it, prepping it, testing it, listing it, shipping it. I mean, that's a quite a bit of a large volume of items right there. So congratulations on that. That's awesome. Just curious how much time that takes you. So Benny is asking if $250 profit a week, is that like crazy? Is that like too much for a new seller? I don't think it's too much for a new seller, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time to make 100 a week and then 200 a week. I mean, here's the key. You've got to get past your selling limits when you first get started, because eBay is going to hit you with those. They're going to cap you off with the selling limits. But once they raise up that total gross amount that you can list and the total quantity of items, once you get over that, it's just a matter of picking up items that are actually profitable, B, getting your average order value up, and C, just listing and getting in that routine and building up your store. Because typically, if you've got quality items, the more you list and the more items you have in your store, the more money you're going to make. Now, it doesn't always work that way. eBay's got a funny way of operating at times where things are freaking hot and then things are slow, and you increase your amount of items and the sales go down. It's an up and down, peak and valley type of thing on eBay. But for the most part, in general, if you pick more, if you list more, if you build your store up and you're putting in your research and there's a market for your items, you're going to typically make more money. So it really depends on how many items you're listing and how many items you're selling. But $250 a week is definitely something you can take home if you put in some good work and effort. So Matt is saying 3 to 4 hours a day. So that's pretty cool right there, Matt. It seems like you probably have some really good systems in place. So earlier I made a guess. I was guessing what Brian Huntsman's average order value was selling only suits and sport coats. I guessed 35, and he said about $40 plus shipping. So I was close, but I knew that it was going to be high. And that's the cool thing about selling, items like blazers and sport coats and suits when you're dealing with clothing and higher end items, because you don't have to sell as much to make a pretty decent amount of money. And a lot of people don't mess with the blazers. They don't mess with the sport coats, and they don't mess with the suits. And I can understand it. They're a little more challenging to deal with. It's a little more challenging to inspect them. And they typically take, not even typically, they definitely take longer to sell than other items, but they pop hard. Those long tail blazer sport coats and suits, they definitely pop hard. So if you want to learn about that, go into the description. I have a course called Blazing Profits that includes 274-page book, tons of videos, interviews, templates. So definitely check that out, the Blazing Profits training program, in the description if you're interested. Just looking through the comments a little more to see what's going on here. Matt is asking, who's ready for yard sale season? I am so freaking pumped up for yard sale season. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to walk up to a garage sale and just destroy it. I told you, I got teased so bad in Austin, Texas a couple weeks ago, because over there it's warm. There's a ton of garage sales, and it was so much fun. I really didn't pick up anything because my suitcase was jam-packed. But there were so many deals that I had to pass up. So many. I remember passing up Vineyard Vine shirts at a garage sale for $5 each. And I would never in a million years do that, but it is what it is. I cannot wait for garage sales, guys. I am pumped up, and I use this app called Yard Sale Treasure Map and G-Sailor to find garage sales through my phone. So essentially what I do is I put in my location into the app. It's free, and it shows you where all the garage sales are. You can create a list, a map, and attack them. So if you're not using that, you should definitely look into it. All right, guys, but that's about it. I've got to get running. I am moving out of my house, my apartment this next week. So I've got a lot of cleaning. I've got a lot of moving and organizing to do. But I want to come to you guys with this quick video, which wasn't that quick, but it was a lot of fun sharing with you 10 Donald Trump items that sold on eBay for ridiculous prices. If you're just coming in, this will be a replay. in about 15 minutes. So check back on my YouTube channel for the replay. If you're not a subscriber already, go down, subscribe. If you see that little bell button somewhere, hit the bell so it'll notify you when these videos come out in the future. Also, if you want to get notified of videos and live shows, go down into the description and get our free book called 100 Amazing Items to Resell. If you download that book, you'll get thrown onto our email list, and we'll update you guys with videos and free content and different, cool things that are going on. So definitely check that out. Any other housekeeping? I don't think so. That's about it. But yeah, if I don't talk to you guys in the next few days, it's because I'm moving. But I'll be situated around April 7th, April 8th. So I'll keep you posted. If you guys live in a Connecticut area, we're going to be having a Connecticut thrift meetup, hopefully at the end of April. So if you live in New England around this area, I'll keep you posted in regards to that. Also, if you guys are going to the ACE conference in New Jersey, I'll be there. I'm going to be there with Mama Profits. We're going on, I think, April, I forgot what the date is, 23rd or 24th. We're going to be there in New Jersey for 2 or 3 days. So if you're going to be over at that ACE conference, definitely say hello if you see us there. But yeah, with that being said, guys, keep on picking and making that money. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.